Hello everyone, out for another wild camp again in a van. So we're back at Dunwich. I enjoyed it so much last time, I've come back for another bash. So we're going to cook up some dinner later on. It'll be some tinned and packet stuff, so I will raid the basket of metallically packed delights. I've also got a new stove to try out, so I'll let you have a look at that later and give you my honest opinion of that. I've got round to doing a total breakdown of cost for the conversion. I was aiming to get within 1,500 quid, and yeah, safe to say I got below that. I actually got below 1,200, so yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. The money I made from selling the trailer and the car basically has paid for the conversion, so spot on. Yeah, so well pleased with that. I'll give you a breakdown of that in a moment. Just going to finish my cup of tea off, and yeah, we'll give you a breakdown of the costs. Talk to you in a moment. Okay, so that's the total cost sheet that I've managed to put together and print off. So we'll start with the very beginning of the project. That was basically putting the sound deadening in. If you remember rightly, I stuck that sticky backed sound deadening. It's also an insulation as well. It's a foam insulation. So I stuck it onto the roof panels, the side panels, wherever I could. And the insulation was that white wool stuff, which is made from recycled plastic bottles, which went into the box sections and the cavities behind the units there and behind this bunk here, basically, and in the doors as well. Wherever I could get stuff stuffed into a cavity, that's where it went. That came to a total of £67.94. Stretch carpet and spray adhesive. Now, I did over order on that because I wanted to make sure I'd got enough to do it. So it's done again. It's done all the roof lining, sides, the units, as you've seen already, door panels. Also did the floor as well, the floorboards. That's got stretch carpet on it as well. Still got plenty left, which will come in handy because when I do the pull-out bunk section, I will need some just to face the front of that. Well, that came to 61 quid, which wasn't too bad. All of this stuff was bought off not eBay, sorry, it was bought off Amazon. Right, and this was the expensive bit. This was joinery, timber and hardware. So basically, it's the plywood for the floors, the bunks, the panels, the units, the timber battening for making the framing up for the cupboards and for the bunk. Hardware such as screws, drill bits, sundry items, bits and pieces for that. The paint as well for the insides of the units. You see where I painted that grey. That was a special furniture paint I bought for that. That was from that well-known DIY hardware warehouse place, you know, the one that's got 2 letters. That little lot came to 235 quid, and that was the most expensive part of the build. Roof rails, which are the bits on the top outside, for making it look prettier. No, they do serve a practical purpose as well. I'll be getting some bars to go across to attach the canoe to, and if I need extra storage space, I may get a roof box as well to put on there as well to put stuff in. Roof rails were £105. Now, wind deflectors, they're the bits on the windows on the outside. I didn't show you fitting those, but yeah, they're basically simple clipping bits. They go around the windows. They keep the wind out of the van when you're driving along, when you've got the window open. They're quite good. They weren't too bad. They were 23 quid. Seat cushions. Now that's, I'll give you a quick, that's these, get this blanket away, these horrible brown covered cushion things. Now I bought 2 sets of them because I'm going to obviously make this up to a double eventually. Went for the cheapest, most cheerful ones I could find on Amazon, and it showed, hence why I've had to put the throw over the top of them. But they're comfortable, they're nice and soft, and they're comfortable. They're really nice and comfy. 2 sets of those came to 74 quid, so that's those. Privacy blinds. Now, these are the things that I made up myself. Basically used one of those foil tent ground sheet things, you know, the insulated foil ground sheet. Made some templates up for the windows. Marked it, cut it the size. And that's basically, the cost is the foil material, a little bit of tape, and the suction cups for holding it all together, holding it all onto the windows. They came to, well, the foil material was £8.18, and the suction cups, because I bought quite a few of those, they came to £17.38. So that's those. You can see I've used more of the stretch carpet as well for a bit of insulation, and also sort of try and keep the light out, light in. Depends which way you're looking at it, if you're outside or inside. The Apple Google Sat Navi thingy, that's that device there. Again, that was the cheapest one I could find at the time, 85 quid, and it does quite an admirable job, to be honest with you. It's yeah, a really good bit of kit, that. The folding table leg and rail, which is the thing that I've got the camera set up on at the moment. That's just basically the rail. It's a complete kit. Comes with the rail, the two stop ends, the two clips that hook over the rail to attach the table on, and the leg that folds out and drops down. Again, that was a cheap and cheerful one. 35 quid. The fold out table hinges, that's the little fold out table to the side by the side door that pops up. The two hinges for that, they came to 8 quid. The countertops, got those off eBay, specially ordered in, came from Germany, and they're just melamine countertops, well, they're melamine shelves basically, but they make really good countertops. That was I think it was a light oak or beech finish, and they were they were quite expensive. They were 50 quid, because that was two lots. I think they were both two lots at 800mm or something like that long, 800 by 300, but it was enough to do what I needed to do with. Edge trim, that's the where you cut the melamine countertops, you get that raw edge with the fiberboard on the where you cut it, so you get an edging strip. It's basically a thin piece of veneer that you cut and then iron on, and it makes that a nice neat edge, nice and smooth. A roll of that, and I've got plenty left. That was 8 quid. Cargo nets, which you've seen me fit in the very beginning of the project, I bought 2 sets of 4. They came to 24 quid because they were £12 a set of 4. And then there was various sundry items, bungee cords, fixing hooks, the little towel rail for the back, you know, the little towel holder, you know, the bungee cord here. That lot came about 30 quid. So the total lot of that, just for the bare bones build, without any electricals fitted, that came to £807.50, which, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. So moving on to the electricals, I bought a 75 amp hour leisure battery. I'm going to buy a bigger one, because 75 amp hour, it's all right for a weekend, but if you're going away for more than a couple of nights, you want something a bit bigger, a bit more capacity. So I may go for something like 120 amp hour, something like that. That was £60.90. Various connectors, about 7 quid. That was the battery connectors, and a few little connectors just for connecting the smaller wires up. That was a 6-way fuse box, 12-volt fuse box with the fuses and mountings and everything, £11.89. The cable I had, the blue Arctic grade flex that I used for wiring up the lights and the power sockets. I had that in stock in the garage. That was left over from another project, so that didn't cost me anything. I've got 2 of those 2-way 12-volt and USB sockets, you know, the ones with the cigarette lighter, charger and the double USB. 2 of those was 33 quid. The little fan and this strip light, Had those kicking around in the garage for ages, so they cost me nothing. The little LED reading lights, we've got one behind me and one in the corner behind you there. That was 19 quid for the pair. The solar panels and charge controller, that's a what is it, 100 watt portable solar panel, fold out one. Comes complete with all the cabling you need and the solar charge controller. That was £110. And a small inverter pack, that's kicking around down here. There it is. I've got the electric blanket plugged into it at the moment, but that is it basically. Little two-way socket thing, which is basically a 12 volt to 230 volt inverter. You've got USB power outlets on the end there as well, but that plugs into your lighter socket. What wattage is that? 200 watts, so it's all right for small stuff. Obviously, if you're going to use things like cooking appliances like air fryers and whatnot, you need a bigger inverter, but that was big enough for what I needed, just to run a few chargers and an electric blanket. That was 27 quid. So electrics wise was 268.79 for all the electrics. That brings us up to a grand total for the build. Oh, and not forgetting the double stove, which I've just bought to replace the single cassette stove. The 2-burner stove, which is quite a decent quality one. That was £34.06. So that's brought the complete cost of the whole build, the whole lot altogether, £1,100.35. Sweet. So yeah, cost-wise, that's worked out quite well. It really has. To actually go out and buy a camper. I've not included the cost of buying the van. That's completely different. That cost can vary depending on the van that you want. The one I got, I paid a little bit more than your average price because this is a very good low miler one. It's been well looked after, full service history and everything. It only done 72,000 miles when I bought it, which for a 12-year-old van, it's not bad really, is it? Well, 11-year-old van, sorry, because it's a 2013 model, 62 plate, early 2013. So yeah, it's 11 years old. So yeah, 72,000, and it's genuine mileage. I've checked everything. It checks out as genuine. I mean, you only had to look at the condition of the van as well. You could see that was a really good one. But most of the ones I've been looking at around this same age and model, they were over 100,000 miles on them, which obviously, yeah, the prices were a bit lower. But yeah, a lot of them have been to the moon and back, and you don't really want that. You want something that's going to last you a bit, so it's better to hold fire a bit and try and get the best, lowest mileage, well looked after example you can get to convert, because otherwise you're asking for a whole heap of trouble afterwards if you don't get a really decent one. So yeah, I'm well pleased with this. She's a cracking van, really is nice. A lot of you are probably wondering why I've gone for the Berlingo as well, being a small van. I had thought of bigger vans, thought maybe a Vivaro. Ideally I'd like a transporter, but you're looking to pay transporter money. You know, they fetch good prices. They really hold their value well. And I'd driven Berlingos as works vans before, the older models, and the one I've got at the moment, which is the newer model, and I can't really fault them much. They're great vans. They do exactly what you want them to do. They've got decent amount of space in the back. For a small van, they tick all the boxes. So yeah, and plus the fact also you can get it into a normal car parking space, which is another bonus, something you struggle with the bigger vans. So yeah, it sort of ticked those boxes in that respect. It's also good on fuel, 55 to the gallon average. So yeah, it's very economical. That's just another box ticked. Great for long journeys. Literally, you can fill the tank up. A tank of fuel will last you about 700 miles. So yeah, it's good. Parts are easy to get. As another bonus for these. There's so many Berlingos that were built and sold and that are kicking around, still going now. So parts availability is not a problem. They're also fairly cheap to get the bits for as well, which is another bonus. That's an issue I had with the bloody Proton, to be honest with you. It was a great car. Don't get me wrong, it was very reliable, never let me down. But when it came to wear and tear and replacing bits, car part stores, motor factory stores, didn't have the bits. They had a lot of difficulty getting hold of the bits, and your best bet was trying to get it online. 4 out of 5 times they'd be right, but a lot of the times the bits would be wrong and you'd have to send them back. So yeah, that was a problem. The ABS sensors was the real problem. I couldn't get them for love nor money. I ended up having to go through the owners club and literally pleading with a couple of the people in the owners club that had got the bits, you know, trying to persuade them to sell me the necessary parts. And yeah, that was a little bit costly. So yeah, that was the final nail in the Proton's coffin, sadly. So we got her fixed up, got a year's MOT on her and sold her. I do miss that car. It was a great motor. So really did us well for 16 years we had her. So she did us well. Got our money's worth out of her at least. She wasn't expensive to start with, but yeah, we definitely got our money's worth out of her. Hopefully I'll get my money's worth out of this one as well. Right, I'm going to think about cooking dinner up in a bit. I'm just going to have a bit of a chill out and relax, and talk to you in a bit. Right, well, I was going to use the pull-out kitchenette at the back, but as it started raining, I've got the tarp up outside, just give us a bit of cover and a bit of ventilation. And we're going to give the Vango Blaze stove a go. This is the new stove I've bought. Takes these type of cartridge, as with the threaded end. What are they? It's the threaded end cartridge. The other ones with the little thread there that threads onto that. It's a 2-burner stove, quite nicely made. Oops, put that back in there. That's basically simply made with your gas shut-off valve there, emergency shut-off, and your 2 burners. It's not bad for what it is. My main complaint about it, really, I mean, it's a lovely stove, but it hasn't got piezo ignition on it, so you have to rely on the old-fashioned matches or lighter. So you've just got to remember to make sure you've got one of those in the vehicle or with you when you're using this. I'll just screw that back on. Got some gas in it, yeah. So you've got your master gas feed valve there, which you turn on. And grab your little lighter, and basically there's your burners. There you go. Have full burn. Yeah, pretty good. Quite pleased with those. Oh, shut some heat off then. So yeah, it's nice and flat as well. Doesn't take up a lot of room, which is always a bonus. Oh, just singed a fly. So yeah, let's get some dinner on, shall we? I'm blooming starving. Oh. It's raining out there at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I've got a tin of minced beef and onion. I've got a tin of peas and carrots. I've also got some ketchup and some mixed herbs out of my little pouch of delights. So we'll mix them up together to make a sort of savoury mince. Basically it's going to be a deconstructed cottage pie, and I'll have our cheesy mash to go with it. So it's basically savoury mince and mash, if you like. So yeah, let's get cracking, shall we? And we'll make the mash up in here, I think. Right, troughage time. Let's get the trough on. A lot of it. Cool. Hopefully all we need in seconds. Oh, bon appetit everyone. mash. Oh yeah, turned out alright that. Oh, it's hot. Oh, there we go. Oh. Oh yeah, that's good. Brought a proper beer mug tonight. Be a bit civilised rather than drinking it straight out of the can. Oh, let's have a look. I'll do, not a full pint, but it'll do. This is this Adnams dry hop lager again. Quite nice. Oh yeah, so much better out of a pint glass as well. Yeah, that'll do for me. There we go. Whoa. Got the kettle on. We're going to have a latte macchiato. You'll do. Oh, that's a lovely little stove, that little single burner thing. I don't know what this latte macchiato's like. This is a cheap and cheerful Tesco one, so it's not going to be great. I expect it'll do the job. See what it's like. Yeah, that'll do. Cheers. Right, I'm tucked in for the night, so we'll see you all for coffee in the morning. Night night. Morning everyone. I don't know what time it is. I think about getting up. You can see the blinds are working quite well, aren't they? There's a little bit of light getting through the sides there, but not a lot. Still blinking dark in here. Not a bad morning that there, by the look of it. Things are a bit steamed up. Got cold in the early hours. About sort of 3-4 o'clock this morning got quite cold, but with the duvet on me, honestly I wasn't that cold. I was nice and cosy and snug. So yeah, let's get up, get changed, and think about some coffee and breakfast, eh? A touch of ground frost overnight. Bit more coffee on my milk. That's better. Oh, that's good. Nice. So I'm gonna have a tin of this muck. Not had this for ages. Ooh. It just flicked a bean out of the pan. Ooh, flicked a bean, missus. Steady. Right. Oh, that looks so delicious. So that's a bacon nugget apparently, I think. That's a pork and egg thing. Mushrooms, sausages. Oh well, here goes. Well, mushroom and beans are alright. Sausage. Yeah, it's edible. About all that can be said of that. Yeah, that'll do. Look at a point of interest on the way back. Okay, so we've stopped at Blythburgh. This is the site of the old Blythburgh railway station. It's on the old 3-foot gauge Southwold Railway. The railway ran from Halesworth in the west across through to Southwold in the east. The railway was open for about 50 years, ran from 1879 to 1929, and they've just recently started restoring bits of it, with the aim, hopefully, eventually, to get the railway running again. There's a little heritage centre over at Southwold itself. I've not looked at that yet, but we'll have a look at that in a future video. But this is a couple of miles up the line at Blythburgh. So let's go and have a look round, shall we? Lovely wagon. It's like a re-gauged MOD wagon. Look at the axle boxes and W irons. Nice though, nice representation of 3-foot gauge. So let's have a look down here. The remains of the engine shed are down here, if I recall correctly. Ah, there we go. There's a little bit about the restoration of the line. Right, if you'd care to pause the video now, you can read the appropriate bits. That's nice to see it being restored. Pretty. So let's have a little walk down the track bed. This is the original track bed of the old 3-foot gauge railway. And obviously there, as you saw on the board back there, their aim is to restore a section of the line back. So this would be nice actually, with a section of 3-foot gauge track down it and a footpath running alongside. It'd be lovely. As they say, there's room for both. See how far this goes. We're right by the church. Yeah, Blythburgh Church, often referred to as the Cathedral of the Marshes, because it is a big church, really big church. We'll do a little bit on that in a future video, because that is quite an interesting church. It's got quite a bit of interesting history and a little bit of local legend around it as well. It was visited by the devil dog Black Shuck, but more on that on a future video. So we're right alongside the River Blythe. Beautiful. Look at that. Glorious setting. Looks like the tide might be coming in, because the river runs out to the sea, so it goes that way. So yeah, it looks like the tide's coming in. View of that church tower again. Oh, some lovely autumnal colours as well. It's gorgeous. Cracking. Right. Oh, there's a nice clear view of the, well, clearish view through the trees of the tower. This must have been nice in the sort of Victorian Edwardian era, riding through this countryside, watching this beautiful landscape going by the carriage window. Wonderful. Hello, little friend. Right, pause the video now if you want to read this. Oh, it's an egret over there, that just flying off. Hello. That was an avocet, I'm not sure. So we've reached the end of the rails again, and we've reached the end of another video. I hope you've enjoyed it. That's a lovely little place over at Dunwich there, that little car park. Really good for £5 a night. Yeah, so I think I'm going to be using that quite a few times now. I'm going to have a little wander around, maybe watch some more birds, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheerio!